Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I bought something quite rare and quite interesting. I got a call from a trader friend of mine and he offered me this 2010 BMW 530 diesel, but it isn't just any old 5 Series, it's a 5 Series GT. He said it's in good condition and it's done 79,000 miles and he was asking £8,000 for it, so I couldn't really say no. I like the GT. I had a quick look on Auto Trader and I think retail this could do anywhere between 10 and 11 grand, so there should be a decent profit margin. I genuinely think the 5 Series GT is a really good car, and they're often overlooked. I think, although it's called a 5 Series GT, I could be wrong now, but I think it's based on the 7 Series chassis, so it's quite a big old barge. But I think they look really cool. They've got pillarless doors, they look really futuristic, and they drive like a BMW, which is to say, excellent. This one's white with a black interior, and I've seen a couple of photographs of it, and it does look quite cool. I'm quite excited to see this and drive it because I do like them and there should be a decent profit margin. Although I don't want to get too carried away because there is one thing which could ruin this profit opportunity, and that's the prep. I'll prepare this car like I prepare all my cars, so I'll give it a gearbox service, an engine service, an MOT with no advisory items, put some decent tyres on it, and all that stuff will rack up. I'm expecting I'll spend maybe £1,000 on this. £8,000 purchase, £1,000 to repair it, and I should get between 10 or 11, less the VAT and the tax and all that sort of stuff. So what looks like quite a good profit margin might dwindle down to nothing. Anyway, I shall remain optimistic. Let's go and see it, shall we? Well, we're here. It looks quite good actually. It's white, it's got silver wheels which look like they need refurbishing, to be honest. It looks way younger than a 2010 car. That's 13 years old now. See, in my mind, that's still a modern car. I think it suits white really well, actually. Bodywork looks good. We've got front parking sensors, which is good because it's about 30 metres long. That's a nice car, you know. We've got a sunroof or a glass pan roof. Xenons, I guess, because it's got headlamp wash. Rear privacy. I like that. I'd run around in something like that. Right, let me do a quick vehicle history check then using Car Vertical. All you need to do is go to carvertical.com, type in the vehicle reg or the VIN number. In this case it is Yankee Juliet, so it's a Yorkshire car, 10 AEG, check vehicle. This will tell us whether it's ever been stolen, written off, had a mileage rollback or been involved in a recorded accident. It's really important that you do one of these checks before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. If you want to do these checks for yourself, you'll get 10% off if you use my promo code HIGHPEAK, or alternatively, click the link below in the video description. It's currently checking databases in about 35 different countries. Checked hundreds of millions of cars. Right, and the report's ready. So, it is all clear. Never been stolen, mileage is fine, there's no outstanding finance, and it's never been involved in a recorded whack. The last known mileage then, the last known mileage at the last MOT was 77,500. And it's fairly consistent every single year. That's good news. No damage. It is a 530D hatchback GT diesel automatic. It was registered in the UK in May 2010. It's had a few reg plate changes. 30 LBF. Right, well it was last inspected or last MOT'd in October 2022 with no advisory items. That's good. This might be a decent car then, this. I'm hoping if it's been maintained well then I won't need to spend an awful lot on it. And it should then leave me with a decent profit margin. I think we'll have to be quick here because I think the heavens are about to open. We've got both sets of keys, which is always a good start. Quite an interesting shape, isn't it? I never liked these when they came out, but they have grown on me over the years. I think in white with privacy, it doesn't look as ungainly as it does in some colours. So, yeah, we need some wheel refurbs, a little bit of curbage going on there, a little bit of corrosion there as well. Brake does look okay. Tyre wise, we're on a, please be a good brand, what is this? A Goodyear, on about 4mm of tread, that's pretty good then. Another curved wheel here, that is a Pirelli, on about 5mm of tread, that's pretty good. Bodywork's quite tidy. No obvious dents. No obvious signs of any paint. Panel gaps are all quite even. The headlamps don't need buffing, they look pretty good. I don't even think I'll bother putting new plates on it because they look all right. Thinking about it, if the previous owner's just taken their plate off it, there'll be new plates anyway. Have we got a matching Goodyear? We do indeed, on about 5mm. This is a nice car. Just hope the inside isn't a pigsty. And a matching Pirelli, so we've got matching tyres on each axle, just as it should be. We need 4 wheel refurbs and a 20-inch wheel, so that won't be a cheap job. Moving around the back, we've got the nice chrome horizontal strip. Sort of a bit X6-ish, isn't it, really? Yeah, so far so good. Just as the rain comes. Look at the size of the rear doors on these. Got nice puddle lights there. They're pillarless too. Look at the leg room. Got something's missing there. Oh no, that. There we go. It's a bit cheap feeling. Well, it smells very clean. Oh, hang on a minute. No, it's too good to be true, this. We've got a sagging rear blind. They're not rear blind, roof blind. That's a pity. But apart from that, it's all quite clean. Oh yes, cup holder central. Cup holder city. Smells clean, doesn't smell of cigarettes or aminals. Now it was described as having loads of history, which, without going into too much detail, I think is quite accurate. I mean, it does want a good old clean, just, you know, to do it thoroughly. Ambulance. Ah, we've got head-up display. It's a good option. So we've got electric seats, powerful mirrors, memory seats, head-up display, auto lights. Something's going on today. We've got helicopters in the sky and all sorts. Right, does want a good old clean under here, but what a big lump. So that is the straight 6 3-litre diesel, which is a cracking engine, in case you didn't know. Not an awful lot to see though. They're chain driven, as long as it's had regular oil changes, that should last the lifetime of the car. There we go. Another pillarless door. Really need to get a gardener in here and trim this. Has it got a power lift sit? No, it doesn't. Ah, it's not, I'd forgotten. It has this weird hatch thing rather than the whole thing lifting up. Or does it? Does the whole thing lift up as well? I think it does, doesn't it? Ah, yes. Right. It's been a while, forgive me. It's been a while since I've had one of these. It's got 2 buttons. So you can either just open that, or, you ready for this? The whole shebang. Oh, and it's power lift as well. Look at that. That's enormous, isn't it? How practical. You'd be better off buying one of these than something like an X5. So, don't really understand what that means. Max. How versatile. So moving inside then, we've got this nice, it's not gloss black, but it's like a anthracite sort of colour. Little ashtray there, I guess. Never been used. Nice shark fin gear lever there. So, service history then, let's have a look. So it has had one at 6,000 miles in 2012. Got a print off here. It had another one at 24 at BMW that they've stapled in the book. This is a replacement service book, this, isn't it? Another one at 45. Bit of a gap then, isn't it? 54. 62, 68, 78. Ah, that was done just 2 or 3 months ago. That's good news then. And we've got reams of history. Let me turn this around before I get done to GDPR or whatever it's called. In May this year, at 78,000 miles, it had an engine service and a rear shocker top mount. Oh, and, like Nessa off Gavin and Stacey, a aircon regas, that's good. Had new brake discs in 21, brake pads, brake discs, front shock absorbers. Look at this, a man after my own heart. Remove and replace the gearbox oil and filter. Nobody does that. Maybe he's watched one of my videos. At a cost of £233 at 76,000 miles, right? Well, that saved me 250 quid straight away. This isn't so good really, but at least it's been done. In 2021, all the injectors were sent away for testing and then refit the injectors after being reconditioned. 854 quid. I hate cars. Oh wow, look at this, right. You ready for this one? Investigate the cause of not starting. We found the high pressure fuel pump had failed and contaminated the fuel system. Replace the high pressure pump, the injectors, the fuel rail and the fuel filter. Empty the fuel tank and lines. That was in 2021. At a cost of, you ready for this? £1,855. Spent some money on this then, hasn't he? Or she? New handbrake shoes and fixings. Right. Well, yeah. Supply and fit air compressor. Air conditioning compressor. 140 quid. Oil service. Brake fluid service. Right, well, somebody's spent an awful lot of money on this car, haven't they? Let's fire her up. You got to watch with these that they're not sort of lumpy when they're idling. And this one, I'm still standing. Very appropriate song, that, isn't it? Right, 79,960 miles. Got low diesel. Set my aircon to 20 because it's quite a warm day. We've got, what have we got here in way of extras? We've got sat nav. I've got the widescreen system as well. Reverse camera, has it got a... Oh yeah, it does, look at that. Reverse camera. Very good. Tow bar zoom, look at that. Very clever. 360 camera as well. Well, I'll be... How do I make it stop beeping? There we go. Has it got the blind spot camera like my old 6 Series? I think it does. Oh no, side view failure. My 6 Series used to say that occasionally. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. Yep. The BMW bong of doom, that, in case you didn't know. Yeah, that's quite a clean car, this. Just wants a good old valet, really. It's been to Great Harwood. Bankview Solicitors. Right. Well, what am I going to do about this blind? Because quite a mess, isn't it, that? Now I could, the cheapest thing would be just to take it off. Just remove it. Because I think if I were to replace this, you'd probably spend £1,000 on this, taking the headlining out. That's too big of a job, I think, that, isn't it? Is it a big deal if I just took the blind off? It's nice and bright, wouldn't it? You could, I guess. You could take the blind off and then tint the windows up there for a bit of shade. There's an idea. Right, should we take this for a drive then and see how it performs? Well, this is finished then in Alpine Vice, I've just seen on the door jamb. Exactly the same colour as the Alpine Vice Z4 I bought the other day. So then, we're into probably £300 to refurbish the wheels. God knows what to sort the blind out. Really don't know. I just know that's an £800 or £1,000 job to do properly, or remove it. And in fairness, on my Range Rover, I've always got it open anyway. I'll see. I shall see. I suppose we could look into why that camera is not working on the front offside. Well, straight away, drives nicely. It's had a gearbox service, so I can't do that. Had an engine service in May, so I don't really need to do another one of those either. It's a great engine, this. It just pulls like a train, it's relentless. Some squeaking going on in the back. So far though, everything seems to work pretty well. All my windows work. My mirrors aren't folding in. Might need a new switch pack then. Yeah, my mirrors aren't working. I'm pleased about that. It was all going too well, wasn't it? Well, it handles nicely. It's a big, comfortable car, this. It feels like a 7 Series, actually. Most BMWs that you drive are really stiff and harsh. This isn't. This feels like a full-blown luxury car. My air conditioning's working nicely. This is a nice old thing, really. 79,000 miles, it's not particularly high either, is it? A 13-year-old car. What should we do with it first then? I think I might run it to my mechanics, see if we can fix the power fold mirrors, get their opinion on the roof blind as well. Then I'll get it booked in for some wheel refurbs. Probably got half a dozen things to do with this then, haven't I? I think that if I could keep my spend to £1,000, then it'll owe me £9,000. Should be worth 10 or 11. Right, leave this with me and I'll catch up with you later on. Cheers, guys. And we're back, and it's all done. And as nice as this car was, I mean, the previous owner had clearly spent thousands on it over the years, I still had quite a big to-do list. There are some things I had done, and then there are others that I didn't. I hope you don't accuse me of cutting corners here, but I still have to keep my sensible hat on. I've still got to earn some profit at the end of the day, otherwise my business will just close its doors. If you remember, the sunroof blind was sagging quite badly. It was starting to give me a headache, actually. So the first thing I did was run it over to Auto Trim in Denton. They're interior and upholstery specialists, so I figured they were the best place to take it. I spoke to Jim the Trim and asked for his advice, and he said that they do dozens of these every single month, but usually they're VW group cars, not BMWs. He said that it was quite a big job, as I thought you'd have to drop the headliner and then buy a whole new blind. So he said to do that properly, you'd be talking about £1,000. He said that what we do for most people is remove the old blind and then fashion a piece of fabric along the top so you can't see the innards. That's what he advised me to do, and he said that that would cost about £280 and it'll look nice and tidy and nobody will ever know. So that's what I did. I don't like cutting corners, but £1,000, couldn't really justify it, especially on a 13-year-old car that I was only trying to get, I don't know, £1,500, £2,000 profit out of anyway. Just wouldn't have made any sense. And to be honest, I think it looks all right. If this were my own car, then I'd be quite happy with that, genuinely. I'm not just saying that either. On my own car, I always have the blind open anyway because I like to get some daylight inside, especially with a dark interior, as mine's got. That was the first thing I had done then. After that, I picked it up and took it for its wheel refurbs. Now, if you remember, they weren't too bad. They just had a little bit of curb rash around the outside. So I had those repaired and then repainted. That cost me £190, and now they look as good as new. I really think that should help sell it, because now as you approach the car, it looks nice and tidy. From there, I took it to my mechanics and asked them to give it a general check over and make sure it was all fine. If you remember, it wasn't actually due a service. I also asked them to fix the power folding mirrors. If you remember, they weren't working. I had some good news, really. 2 hours later, my mechanic called me to say, your GT's all ready. It sailed through its MOT without needing a single thing, and they managed to get the mirrors working properly. Then I took it for a valet. Again, it wasn't that bad. It just needed a bit of a spruce up, really. So £60 later, here we are. I've just been to work and taken some photographs of it, and I've got it advertised for $9,995. Although it's only an SE model, it's got thousands of pounds of optional extras, so I'm hoping the spec alone will sell it. And I think that's about it. So, as always, let me talk you through my costs. Right then, so I paid £8,000 for the car. The wheel refurbs were £190. The MOT and general check over was £65. It cost me £280 for the blind removal and the repair. £60 for the valet. So my grand total is £8,595. So if I can get my asking price of $9,995, it should leave me a profit of £1,405. That's before VAT and tax, of course, but still quite healthy, isn't it? What's that? About 20%, isn't it? 8 grand. About 18%. It's not a bad return, really, is it? And hopefully I'll sell it to somebody who appreciates it, and somebody will have a decent car here for the next few years. So I think that's about it. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what you would have done. Do you think I've cut corners here, or do you think I've been sensible? I'm not sure. I think I've done the right thing. I think. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. And yeah, see you next time. Cheers, guys.